Welcome everyone to today's interesting section. Welcome everyone to today's interesting section. So let's start joining as we go live in today's interesting conversation. Welcome everyone to today's interesting session. Please let's start joining as we go live in today's conversation. Please along the way, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we move ahead in the course of today's section. So welcome everyone to today's interesting and wonderful conversation as we move ahead talking about the market, talking about what do we need to know when looking at the market. So today we'll be analyzing this project on gate.io. It's currently on gate.io, and we'll be analyzing it, checking the tokenomics of this project, and also checking about what is the project really all about when talking about the market space. We're also going to iron and looking at the market order. When talking about market order and all that in the token, what are they really all about? What is currently going on in the market, and how we can actually go about the market? If is it actually tradable? Does it has use cases? Now I do tell you guys that in going about any project, you need to understand what the project is really all about. You need to understand the project I'm actually looking at. Does it have use cases? What is the use cases behind the project I'm actually going about before investing in that project? Now all these points are actually very important that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market. Now currently you can see the movement of the market is currently this, you can see the name here. You can see, let's just say what is it really about. You can see that if you check it here, you can see it here. You can see the Acorn Protocol, open and interchangeable, and also interportable, allowing anyone to develop a platform for various jobs from various industry. Now they actually allows everyone to create or to develop a platform for various jobs. Now we're looking at for various jobs. What do we understand that building a platform for various jobs? Now just only for not only for jobs, but also for everyone that provide labor services to their global labor market and receive fair compensation in return. Now the protocol is really available online and can access through the wallet, through a mobile wallet called AcornBox. So this is just a brief explanation of what. Now looking at the market itself, looking at what are currently going, we're talking more about the market. We'll be looking at one point we'll be looking at about the market. We'll be looking at the tokenomics of this project. Now looking at the order book. Now in this area here, you can see the order book, and also we're looking at the technical analysis. We're also going to technical analysis, strictly technical analysis, trying to explain what the token is really all about, what we need to take note of when analyzing this token, what is a project actually really all about. Now you can see the market currently. You can see where the market is. Please, if you are live with me, you have live with me. I can see we have few people live currently. Please, if you are live with me, please kindly just comment on the chat box so that I will know that you guys are live with me as we move ahead in the course of today's section. Now let's move ahead. Let's do a little bit of analysis to get what we're actually talking about. Let me cancel this. I want to cancel this. So I'll move this away. Now looking at the market currently, look at the area in which where is currently as, and looking at this push in which we have here. Now what can you actually see? This push that we have here, what is your prediction about the market? What is your prediction about this move that we currently have in the market space when looking at it? Let me bring it back here. Let me move it. Let me bring it back to candlestick. Let me bring this out. Let's let's get some analysis about this project, what the project is actually really all about. Let's get some analysis about this. Now, looking at this project here, looking at the area here in which it started from, looking at the area here in which this project started from. Now, you can see this push that we have here. Now, you can see this, the week, you can see the body ended at this area, and we can see the push in the market. So now, with this alone, what is our prediction? Now, you can see that this market is actually bullish for a long time. This market currently, that I'm yet to do some major analysis, but with the little I've seen, I can tell you that this market is bullish on the long time when looking at it. Now, it started from this area, which was around 0.0001, and right now it got up to this area 0.008. So from 1 it got to 8, and from that 8 right now, and you can see the wing is predicting that it cancelled 10 and just got to 0.001 and all that, and currently it's at 0.06. Well, so these are all, so you need to understand what is the market really all about. Now, you understanding what the market is really all about and how you can actually take advantage of the market will give you an edge when talking about the market, what is currently going on in the market, what are the basic analysis we need to know when looking at the market. Now, it's not just only about the technical analysis about the market. You also need to understand there are some basic factors that we need to understand when looking at the market. And one of the factors that is very, very important that we need to understand when looking at them, when studying the market, is how to make use of, is how to understand the market. Now, you can see currently this top area here, you can see the market has actually gone down. Based on this, the market has actually gone down to minus 0.90 in just 1 hour time frame. We're currently using 1 hour time frame. Let me put it in 4 hours. Now, the reason why I actually individually I prefer using 1 hour time frame, 4 hours time frame to actually trade, because it gives you better understanding of the market. It gives you better view about how the market is actually going, what we need to know. And this token currently is trading, like looking at it here, it came on board on Gate.io on August 27. That was when it started on Gate.io, and you can see from this area in which it's moved there to this area, that was 0.08, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 0.08 in this 0.07, 0.0007, that is 30 then 7. Now it came down another. You can see the movement that we currently have in the market. So you need to understand that, okay, this is what the market is really all about. This is how I can actually go about the market. This is what I need to know when talking about the market. So all those factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when studying the market, or when trying to figure out how to actually go about the market, what the market is saying, what are the different factors we need to consider when looking at the market. And all those factors, all those points are actually very, very important that we need to actually take note of. Now, with this alone, what is our prediction of the market? What is our prediction of the market currently? What is our prediction of the market? You can see this move that we had here. Now, let me bring it back here and order. Let me check for let's check for this. Let's say, okay, let's bring this out. Let's use this. Now, we saw this move that we had here, and it's broke again. It came to this. It came here. It came here. The last week that brought here. You can see the last week. Now, you have to understand. That is why I told you guys you have to understand the market structure. How is the market structure really all about? What is the market structure all about? Now, it's moved from this area. It came back here. It's moved here and all that. Now, you can see, now, has it broken now? You remember the last structure that we have, the last structure that we had there, you can see the last structure in which you had there was this area. The last structure in which you had there in this market was this area in which we have it. This was the last all-time low that we added. This was the all-time low that we had in the market space and all that. Now, did it break the all-time from this beginning that we had there? Was it able to break the all-time low in the market when looking at the market himself? Now, looking at the all-time low, looking at where it started from in the market, looking at this area, the all-time, looking at where the wick I'm using the wind to actually explain this. Now looking at the all-time low, looking at the area in which the all-time low started from here, which was the all-time low around this area was 0.0005. That was the all-time low that we had here. Now it actually still came that it broke, it moved from this area, it broke the structure, it broke the all-time low, it had kind of a form of a fake breakout here, and it pushed up, which caused a kind of a push. You can see this push that we had around, that we have around this area, the push that we had around this area. Let me cycle it here. You can see this push that we have that we had around this area and all that. Now we will still see. Now do we still also see something like this? Let's continue moving our line to actually see what the market is saying and all that. So all those points that are what we need to. You see the next wind was here, and it came down to this area here. Now I do tell you guys that it's all about supply and demand, the weight of which there was. Now you can see now there is low the buying and supply. Now you see there is no much buying. The pressure of buying and selling is not actually much when looking at the market, because if the buying and selling, if it's actually that massive, we won't actually see. You can see it now. You can see the little buying. You can see the red. All those red. Now when you see the word red, understand that it's all about demand and supply in the market. Now okay, what is the strength of the supply? What is the strength of demand in the market? Now based on this area here that we are seeing, you can see that there is not much buying and selling in the market. It's just little buying and selling. You can see now it's moved around this area and all that. Let me just bring it here. Since it's down, it's moved around this area, it came down and all that. So all those points are actually very, very important. And we had a bullish here, we had a bullish there. From this area in which you add here, we can see the move in which are there, which caused a bullish, which caused a push in the market, which caused a push in the market, the bullish in the market came around this area. That was 0.07. Now looking at the all-time high here, that we had 0.07 something, 0.0007 something. Now it came to this area, broke the structure here, and came down again. So now just imagine the time, just imagine from this area to this area, you can see the profit that you would have made. And looking at if investing in the market from this area, which was around 0.05, and it got to 0.04, it's actually a good turn for your money and all that. It all depends on how much you use in actually investing in the market. Now you can see all this movement that we had here, we can see all the movement, and let's pick the highest that we had here. Let me just pick this area here, and we had a move down. We can see this push that we had downward here, then we had a move up here again and all that. So now with this alone, with what actually happened here in this area that we had here, you can see another sign again that we had here. You can see another move again that we had in the market. You can see this move again that we had in the market. This break of structure that we had. You can see a break of structure here. You can see another break of structure here. Another one again that we had again was around this area and all that. So we need to understand how the market, all these things are actually basic understanding that we need to know. All actually what we need to figure out when understanding the market, when trying to picture out what the market is saying, what are the basic understanding about the market, how we can actually go about the market and other. All these points are actually very, very important. Now looking at it, we are not done yet. So now, taking it from this area here, now we'll be looking at the other blocks of this market. Now, I just want to finish the analysis of this before we move to the other blocks. Now, looking at it, it's moved around this area. You can see the movement here, and let me just bring it to this area here, and it broke the structure here again. It came up to this height here. And we had a market coming around this area. So what are we expecting to see? What are we actually expecting to see in the market soon? Because I'm looking at what has actually been happening in the market and what is the next line of action when looking at the market. What is the next line of action? Now we saw it around this area. It's likely going to come to this area again. come down, we will see some display around this area. It might touch this line here, still come down and all that. Now, is it going to break? Is it going to break this line? Now, you remember I told you that it's all about supply and demand. Now, is this still going to break this line? If we see a breakage of this line again, then we will see a push. If we see a breakage of this line again, then we will see a good push in the market. If we see a breakage, see the breakage of this line that we add here. You can see this line that we have here. If we see a good breakage of this line, then we will likely going to see a push in the market again. We can see if it actually comes down here again and breaks this line. Remember, we have a line here again that it has to. You can see this movement. You can see this line that we have here again in the market. You can see this. It broke this line that we have here in the market, which is also a good sign when looking at the market and when looking at all what we need. So all these points are actually basic points that we need to know when looking at the market and other. All those points are actually interesting points that we need to know when looking at the market, what the market is really all about, what we need to take note of it, and other. All these points are actually very important, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market and what the market is saying, how we can actually take advantage of the market when looking at it in the long run. And that it is very important that we take note of all these factors. All these factors are actually very important that we need to take note of when analyzing the market or when trying to get what we're actually talking about. Please, I'm waiting for our comments on the chat box. I'm waiting for our comments on the chat box as we keep moving ahead in the course of this session. Now, what do we understand by this? What do we understand by this project? What is this protocol really all about? What is the basic understanding about this protocol that we're actually trying to discuss in the course of today's session? What is this protocol really all about when looking at it? Now, we need to understand what the protocol is really all about, what the protocol is currently doing in the market. Now, we're getting a basic understanding about what the project is actually doing, what we need to know about the market, what are the basic points we need to know, and that will give us a kind of an edge when looking at the market or while studying the market on what is currently happening and all that. So it is very important that we take note, that we know that okay, this is what is currently happening in the market. This is how we can actually take advantage of the market in the long run when looking at our investment strategy, when looking at what we need to know, when looking at this is the right way to go about the market, and that it is very important that we take note of. It is very important that we take note of all these factors are actually very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market or when studying the market or trying to get a basic understanding about what is currently happening in the market so far, and all that. It is very important that we take note of all those points. So I believe you guys are actually getting what I'm actually teaching out to you guys in the course of this session. Please, if you have any question whatsoever, if you need any clarification, please you are free to ask on the chat box so that justice can be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's session. If you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box so that justice can be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of this session. Now, in analyzing this token, this is one basic understanding. Now, when I talk about this project or this Acorn protocol, now it's actually an open and interchangeable and interpolarable, or allowing anyone to develop a platform for various jobs from various industry, and for anyone to support their labor service to their company labor, receiving fair compensation in return. The protocol is readily available online and also can be accessed through a mobile wallet known as AcornBox and others. So all these actually basic points that we need to take note of when analyzing this period, when trying to get a basic information that okay, this is what they are actually really about. This is how we can actually take advantage of the market when looking at it on the long run. And now you can see the other blocks here. Let's get explanation about the other blocks. let's get explanation about what this order blocks is actually really all about in the course of this section. So all these actually are basic information, actually basic information that we need to take note of, that are very, very important, that we need to take note of when looking at the market or when trying to explain what they're actually really all about, what we need to take note of, and all that. Is very, very important that we take note of all those factors when looking at the market or trying to get an explanation about what is going on in the market, what we need to take note of the market. And now looking at the other blocks in this area here, we can see the other blocks, we can see the movement of the other blocks in this area. So now what can we actually see? You can see now it's all about that. You can see the other blocks now. You can see the long and short trend. It's just trying to say that, okay, this is the long trend and this is the short trend. This is how the market is moving in a long trend, and this is how the market is moving in a short trend and order. So all this are actually basic information. Now looking at this area here, you can see this is actually the uptrend. There is the bullish. Now okay, the market is bullish, and now you can see this area here. You can see this area here is this area. This what we have here is the price average, is the average price. This area in which we have here, that we have, that is range. Okay, now we have 0.006819 is actually changing around this 6 year. This area that we have here is known as the block, is known as the price range, the price average. That is one point we need to understand. Okay, this is the price average and order. Now apart from this price, you can see the market is there's 0.006 and all that. So now what another point? You can see the total ACN and all that. That is this area. The total this area is actually the total ACN and all that. You can see it here. That is around 27,000 where we have 27,000 and all that. So all these points are actually interesting point that we need to take note of when looking at the market. Also actually interesting point that we need to take note of when looking at the market. I know that is very, very important when talking about the market or when trying to explain what the market is actually really all about, what we need to take note of, and all that is very, very important that we know. All these are actually important information that we need to take note of when looking at the market or when trying to get information about what the market is actually really about, what is currently going on in the market, and all that. It is very, very important that we take note of all these factors. All these factors are very, very important that we need to take note of when analyzing the market or when trying to get information about what is currently going on. All the different factors that we need to take note of when looking at the market. And now looking at this, let's go back again. Looking at this area here that we're actually talking about. Looking at this area here that we're actually talking about in the course. You can see now the market is actually, if I move this area here and order, if I move this area here, you can see the market, you can see the total price. This is actually the total price in USD. This is actually the total price in USD. That is this area we have 177.29, and where you can see the market is moving and all that. This actually is not fixed, it's actually moving, trying to give you guys the direction of actually the way the price is moving in seconds, how the market is actually moving in seconds, and that, which is actually a good sign, that we need to know when looking at the market and all that. So all these points are actually important point, that we need to take note of when looking at the market or when trying to get a kind of information about what is currently going in the market. What are the different factors we need to consider when looking at the market? Now let's go to the other one. Now you will see the differences. Now remember, looking at the markets and say, this is actually showing the uptrend. It's all about showing the uptrend and downtrend of the market. Now let's go to the downtrend. Let's go to the other side of the market. Now you can see this market now. You can see this market currently now. You can see the market currently now. You can see what the market is actually saying and all that. You can see now what the market is saying now. We have 0.007. Now remember the other one that we have here now, you can see the BDF was actually 0.08 and others. Now this one now is currently saying that it's currently 0.007. And what can you actually predict from this? Can you actually predict from the market? You can say now the long and short of the market. You can say, okay, this is the uptrend of the market. This is where this is the area in which the market is actually going, and this is the area how you can actually short the market. You can see we have 50%. This actually is actually divided 50% long, also 50% short in the market and other. So now it just actually just shows the long trend and also the short trend of the market. Now use as option of current market trend. Now this is actually now give you idea that okay, maybe when it gets to this area, you now have to study the market, how this is actually the other books, how it's actually being moved. Then you know that okay, this is how to actually go about the market. This is the other books of how the market is actually going and other. Just like for example, we're using the stock market to actually say okay, this is how the market is going, this is what is currently going the market, and also all these factors, all these 1 or 2 points are actually very very important in analyzing the market, in actually going about the market, trying to get a way out, or trying to get a way that okay, to know more about the market, to say okay, this is what is already happening, this is how you can actually make advantage of the market when looking at it on a long run. And also all these factors are actually very very important that we all need to take note of, are very very important that we all need to take note of when studying the market, or when trying to get a way on actually focusing on the market, to say okay, yeah, this is what the market is actually really all about. This is how we can actually make an edge when looking at the crypto market and others. So in moving ahead, in getting more understanding about now you can see it now. Users options of trend of current market trend, and this is just like a users options of current market trend. Now them knowing how the market is actually going, them knowing how to actually go about the market, what the market is, how they can actually make an edge in the market himself and all that. Now data source, real-time loan statistics. These are or in marginal trade for reference only. You can see data source real time. You can see real time loan statistics in marginal trade, or for reference only and other. So all these points are actually very very important. Now let's go to this trade here, in this trade angle here. You can see the trade image you have here. Let's put it in USDT. You can see the trade image you have here. We have here 0.0068. This you can see it here around this is around 8 point this in USDT. You can see it now. This is actually the trades that we can see that a lot that's actually been going on currently on the market. You can see now, you can see a lot of people are currently trading on this market. A lot of people are currently investing in this market currently, in which you can currently see it right here. This is what you can actually see right here when looking at the markets. And so all these points will actually give you direction. Okay, what way should I actually invest? What action, what is the action price, and people actually, is there enough liquidity in the market, are people actually investing in this project and all these are actually important points that we need to actually take note of when looking at the market. All these are actually important point that we need to take note of when looking at the markets and other, trying to give us direction of what we should expect in the market space and all that. Is very very important that we take note of. All these points are actually very very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market, or when trying to get basic understanding on what we should expect, how we should go about the market, all the basic information that we need. I believe you guys have actually understood a lot, which I've actually shared it to you guys when looking at the market himself. So let's look at the white paper. Before we look at the white paper, this project to actually get the utility. What is the utility? What is the use case behind this project that we're actually talking about? Let's move ahead and talk about the Acorn Protocol, the Acorn Protocol himself. Let's look at let's look at coin market cap to get more understanding on that. Now looking at it, looking at it right now, looking at the market just like the way I showed you guys. Now looking at this area here, looking at the market is still bullish when looking at the market. The market is still very bullish when looking at the market himself. Looking at where it's actually it started from, and it's currently at 0.00006 and all that. It has actually done 33% in the market. Currently, it has actually done 36% in the market and all that. So all these points. Now you can see the market himself. You can see let's check the markets. Let's check. You can see it's currently, you can see it on Gate.io. It's currently trading on Gate.io, and other, you can see it. You can see it now. It's trading very high. You can see the volume 64%, 64.30%, which the volume is actually 64.30%, which is actually very high when looking at the market. So all these points are actually very, very important that we need to know and order. Now, this AC is actually is more valuable in that when looking at the market. It's actually more valuable when looking at the market, what the market is currently saying and all that. That is all this actually important point that we need to take note of when looking at the market, and all the actually important information that we need to take note of when studying the market or when trying to say, okay, this is actually this is actually a good project. We're looking at it when saying that, okay, should I trust this project? I can tell you that this is actually a good project that you can actually look at investing in if you're looking at going into the market, and know that this is actually a good project. So if you're here to actually start investing in this project, a little dollar, you can actually, the market is actually very bullish. Now, based on what you can see here, it's currently at 0.06 that we have here, and the all-time high that we've got here was around 1, in which you can see it was around 0.001, in which it broke the all-time high. Then which the all-time high here was 0.001 here, and it was now it's going at 0.06, in which we're still going to see some push, and when the market will get to 0.001, we'll actually still see 0.01 in coming weeks to come. So we need to actually understand the market. Now, why am I so convinced that, okay, the market is actually bullish? You know, some people will say that, okay, what give you the assurance of the market? Now, you can see the analysis I just done. Now, you can see technical analysis, in which I explained what the market is actually all about, what is currently happening in the market. And so let's check. Let's go back and let's get more analysis about the market. Let's get the news about information about what the market is actually really all about and other. Now, you can see it here. You can see this is a protocol here. This is what they are actually building and other. So you need to understand, okay, the project you're actually looking at, trusting or investing, what are they building? What is the project really all about? Now, if they are building something very strong that is actually going to withstand, okay, whether the market is whether other tokens are actually doing well, or whether, now, do they have a lot of utility? They have a lot of use cases that can withstand the ecosystem when looking at. Now you can see now what is actually, now what, let's look at it now. What is an Acorn Protocol? Acorn Protocol is a trustless and automated solution for organizing large-scale labor force. Now, the protocol aims to eliminate the trust cost issue in the work verification process by using various verification mechanisms and evaluation distribution strategy to improve efficiency and cost issue. We are to create a global labor market where labor can be exchanged as a product, enabling a large-scale collaboration regardless of location or time, which is one important factor that we need to consider. Now, and also another one is that now it actually allows individuals to directly participate in larger global economy without any physical, regional, or associative restriction when looking at the market and order. Now, in the protocol fragment job details so that anyone can understand the content and so that the task can be quickly distributed when looking at it. So it also verifies the outcome of the task in various ways and provides immediate feedback. Now, the rapid feedback and awarding of compensation penalties based on trust, based on results, can lead to an increase in participant productivity when looking at the market. And so all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market himself. And it is very, very important that we understand all these factors when looking at the market, when looking at what the market is actually really all about, what we need to take note of when looking at the market. And so what is actually the ecosystem of what is actually the ecosystem of Acorn Protocol? What is actually the ecosystem of this Acorn Protocol? Now, the protocol is actually open, interchangeable, and interoperable, allowing anyone to develop a platform for various jobs. Now, they actually allows anyone to that's actually looking at, okay, developing something for various jobs or for various industry, or for anyone to provide their labor service to global labor market and receive fair compensation in return. Now, the protocol is already online and is accessible through through the mobile wallet and other. Approximately 3,000 participants process 20,000 2,000 200,000 tasks on daily basis. So all these are actually basic fundamentals that we need to understand when looking at the market. All the actually basic fundamentals that we need to take note of when looking at the market, or when trying to say that okay, this is what the market is actually really all about. This is how we can actually go about it. These are the basic formation that we need to know when looking at the market. And other. Currently, we focus on creating training database for machine learning or organizing social campaign. Now we plan to expand the broader industry as well and others. So all this now, the AcornBox mobile wallet designed for the first time crypto users and all that. And they also have empowering machine learning, and also all these factors, all these points are actually basic information that we need to know when looking at the market. And you can see the total supply, how many instances. You can see the total issue here that we have here in the market as at March 2023. You can see it here, the maximum supply, the circulating supply, and all that. So all these are actually basic information that we need to know. All actually basic information that we need to take note of when looking at the market, what the market is actually really all about, what we need to take note of when studying the market and others. So all these are actually basic points that are very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market and others. So let's check out you can see here, this is actually their white paper. Let's check out the white paper to get more understanding and all that. Let's check out the white paper to get more understanding about what they're actually talking about. Now, so I believe you guys are actually understanding what I'm at. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for everyone. Thanks for everyone that has connected so far in the course of today. So now let's move down to the tokenomics. I'm trying to get the tokenomics of this project. Now you can see now. You can see currently, you can see the tokenomics of this project. You can see what the tokenomics is currently saying when looking at this project here. You can see now, you can see the Acorn Protocol, it has established a kind of a dual token system in order to better differentiate between liquidity provision within the labor market and governance. This is what they're actually doing. Now, as they've actually established a dual token, that is what you are calling. Now, the essence of this token is to better differences, is to understand the differences between liquidity provision within the labor market, when looking at within the labor market and governance when looking at it. So all these are actually important. So anything that has to do with the labor market and governance, they actually create a kind of a form of liquidity to ensure that the token is actually well taken care of and all that. So now they actually provide differences between liquidity provision within the market, within the labor market and governance and all that, which is one important factor that we need to take note of when looking at the market and all that. So all these points are actually very, very important. Thank you for joining us live. Thank you for joining us live in today's section. Thank you so much for connecting live in today's section. I believe you guys are enjoying what I'm actually teaching out to with you guys in today's interesting section. So all this now you can see now, and also it's actually compose a kind of they actually compose a form of Anchor, we serve as liquidity reward out on value creation within the Anchor protocol, and also it actually comprises a compose of which is responsible for overall protocol governance when looking at the market. And also all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market, what the market is saying, how we can actually go about it and other. Now the Acorn is Acorn Protocol primary liquidity token, and also protocol users and worker utility understand the market and the amount of the entire budget on how to actually go about the market. And also now the maximum of 10,000 or or 10 billion or 10 billion AC, that is the Acorn token, can be issued at once. 27% of the total. You can say this is just how the distribution goes. Another, you can say let's check now. You can say the pattern, zero term, maximum, all this actually important information that we need to know when looking at the markets, when trying to study the market, and what what is the token really all about, what we need to take note of when looking at the market itself. It is very, very important that we take note of all these factors. All these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take. Now you can see this is actually their website here. An ecosystem for open network and collaboration. So they actually have an ecosystem for collaboration and for open network and collaboration. And now you can see that the Acorn Protocol aims to build an ecosystem for open network collaboration. And apart from that, Acorn Protocol facilitates creation, curation, evaluation and exchange of data, empowering people to cherish the value of data when looking at it. So all these factors are actually very, very important. Factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the markets. All these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the markets. And that all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the markets. And that is very, very important that we take note of all those factors and when looking at the market, what the market is saying, what we need to know about it, what are the different factors that we need to know when looking at the market. And that is very, very important that we take note of all this. It's very, very important that we take note of all this when studying the markets and all that. So all this actually basic information that we are actually talking about, that we are sharing in the course of today's session, is very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market. And so when looking at what the market is really all about, what we need to take note of when understanding the market and all that. It is very, very important that we take note of all these factors and all that. So in moving ahead, let's check more about the website. You can see here actually create everyone now everyone creates value, and also everyone is able to come into the ecosystem and create something valuable that they can actually invest, they can actually key into, and also everyone is actually coming on board, is actually coming to the ecosystem to create something valuable, to create a kind of a platform that is more trustworthy. And everyone now with the protocol, anyone can create value and get rewarded based on their contribution in real time. So anyone can actually come into the ecosystem and earn value and share value, and also and get a reward for actually sharing value, for actually contributing in real time. And also the protocol is actually built in a transparent and sustainable network ecosystem. We're talking about the ecosystem and all that. So it's actually built a form of trust in the ecosystem, in which you can actually go to the ecosystem and actually invest and actually see the reward for your investment in a long run. And also they actually build a form of the protocol is actually building a form of transparency or sustainability in network, the ecosystem, another, which is one important factor that we need to know when looking at the market, when looking at what they're actually building, what they're actually really all about. And all these factors are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the market. And please, if you are following me, I guess I get what I'm dishing out. Please, you can actually follow me on my profile. You can actually follow me on profile so that I'll know you guys are live with me as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's interesting session. Please you can actually follow me on my profile, comments on my chat box, so that I will know you guys are live with me as we keep moving ahead. And also now you can see what they provide. They open a kind of an open and collaborative network for value and creation and exchange, and also a high capacity network designed for mass collaboration when looking at the markets and all that. So let's get more news about it. Now you can see a new form of value creation. Now that is actually provide a set of data and processing and incentive system. The value of data is fairly transparent and recognized. So the data provider is fairly compensated, and the data comes a customer can be reassured reliable data source when looking at the market. And you can see the token now. The token now, when the value data is recognized, the data provider will receive token from the the protocol or data customer. Now the token monetizes data value and makes the value flow in the kind of in a vibrant way when looking at the market himself and others. So all these points are actually very, very important, actually very, very important, that we need to take note of when looking at the market, what the market is actually really all about, what we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem, what are the basic information of things that we need to take note of when looking at the market space and others is very, very important and others. So for developers, empowering your community with Anchor Protocol. Anchor Protocol connects data providers and data customers to create a win-win platform for valuable transaction. Developers can deploy their service with an Anchor Protocol seamlessly with AcornBox and other. You can see it here on micro blockchain. Micro blockchain is a high functioning blockchain infrastructure with a sustainable token when the economy ecosystem, significantly boosting the value of Anchor Protocol by connecting data providers and also data customers. Anchor Protocol on micro opportunity transform traditional industry into data economy when looking at. So all these points are actually very, very important that we need to take note of when looking at the ecosystem, when looking at what they are actually building, what they're actually really about, what are the basic information that we need to actually understand. So you can see that you can actually add their website if you're looking at into downloading it, and you can see that it's actually on the Acorn Protocol is a mobile wallet built on the token. The token name is ACN. That is actually the token name when looking at it. The old token name is actually ACA when looking at it, and other ACN when looking at now the AcornBox can use various dApp and seamlessly manage the AC reward when looking at. You can see now one of what they actually do is that they connect the AcornBox. They actually connect the AcornBox and also the micro connect in touch with simple touch and other. They actually join in governance by minting the core with the occur with ACN and also receive more ACN reward via daily mission, and also they actually have the daily mission they can actually do and to actually participate and to actually get reward for it. And also now with this alone, it should actually give you an idea of what the market, what they're actually building, what they're actually really all about, which is actually a good sign, which is actually a good establishment or a good move in the market when looking at, okay, when trying to say, okay, is it a good investment? Is it a good investment when looking at the market himself? And also all these points are actually very, very important. It's very, very important that we take note of all these points when looking at the market himself, what the market is saying, what are the different factors of things, we need to take note of when understanding, when looking at the market. And it is very, very important that we take note of all these factors when understanding, when looking at the market, or when trying to understand what the market is actually really all about, or what we can actually take note of when looking at the market. And that I believe guys have actually gained a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys in the course of today's session. We're gradually coming to the end of today's session. I don't know, do you have any question? Please, if you have any question, please, good morning, welcome, welcome guys to today's interesting session. Thank everyone for actually connecting with live with us into this session. Please, if you are following me and you're yet to follow my profile, please kindly do follow my profile so that whenever I'm live, you will be signified live whenever I'm live, and you miss out on any section as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's section. Please, if you're yet to follow my profile, please kindly do follow my profile so that whenever I'm live, you will be signified live whenever I'm live, and you miss out on any section as we move ahead, as we keep moving ahead in the course of this section, as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's section. So these are all important points that we need to understand. All these actually important points. You can see the market here. You can see where we draw the market here. We can see it. We are looking at it. It's breaking the structure that we have here. Looking at it, it can actually break the structure that we have here and order. So all these are actually important factors that we need to understand. You can see the break of structure. We can see the rate of demand and supply, and you can see the rate of demand from this area here, which was 0.6. It came down. There was there was a sell off to 0.5. Now the stick bought again and other, so they are not actually sure about the direction in which they want to do. Now the rate on which the supply and demand is actually moving in the market, you can see now currently, you can say, okay, from this area here, you can see this area, this movement that we add here, this movement that we add here to this area here was just around minus this was just around minus 2 points, just like minus 2.25%. But this push from this area in which we add here, you can see this push that we add here to this area was around 23%. So now this will actually tell you that the rate of buying is actually, the rate of buying in the market is actually more than the selling of the market. This push that we had there was just 23%. You can see, but this sell off that we had here was just around 2%, let me just say 3% another. But this, from this area in which we add here to this move that we add here, you can see just 23% another. This is actually, this we actually tell you that, okay, this is what the market is really all about. This is what we need to take note of when looking at the market. Even though this alone, we can just, this was just move that way, this sell off that we had, it was just 4%, and now we can see the move, we can see this move here to this area which was 9%. It moved to this area again, added another 3%. It moved to this area again, it moved to this area again, and other. Now it's finally moved to this area. And so all these are actually important points that we need to understand when looking at the market. So you need to understand how the market is going, how you can actually take advantage of the market when looking at it on a long run and other. So all these are actually basic information that we need to take note of when looking at the market, or trying to understand what the market is actually really all about. How can we actually go invest into the market when looking at it on the real sense, and that all these points are actually, and you can now, you can, what I was actually telling you, can see the way, the power of buying. You can see the buying here, you can see the buy, sell. You can see the buying pressure here in around this area is actually more than the selling pressure when looking at it. The buying pressure is actually more than the selling pressure when you can see the market here. You can see that based on this, you can actually say, okay, previously there was a lot of sell up, but recently, about what is currently happening in the market, you can see this move here, which you can see a lot of buying that we have currently on the market space now. So all these points, all these factors actually basic information that we need to understand, that give you a guideline that, okay, I will give you direction that, okay, this is how you can actually go about the market, this is how you can actually invest into the market when looking at it and other. So that is all what we'll be talking about for today's section. Tomorrow again is another interesting day where we'll all come together to learn a lot about the market space, what we need to know, how we can actually go about the market, and that is all what we're talking about for today's section. Thank you so much for everyone that has actually connected live with us. See you same time tomorrow for another interesting conversation. Stay blessed and enjoy the rest of your day. See you tomorrow again for another interesting conversation. If you have any token that you want me to analyze, you can actually drop it for me, and Justice is going. Tomorrow again, we'll be live again analyzing another different token, trying to get different idea about what the market is saying, what we need to take note of the market and all that. So all these are actually basic formation that are very, very important that we need to actually take note of when analyzing the markets and others. So that's what we'll be looking at in the course of today's session. Thank you so much. I can see everyone that has actually connected live with us in the course of today's session. Thank you so much for connecting live. See you same time tomorrow for another interesting question. Bye guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.